everybody, my name is Megan. You're watching Miss Megan Knits. Links to everything I mentioned by name will be in the description box below. Today is a very special day. I will be showing you my craft room today. While I don't actually do much crafting here, this is where I store all of my various needles, notions, yarn, supplies, etc. You can see the yarn behind me. The craft room is actually located in the finished basement of my house. Back when I was a kid, this was actually our playroom, and now it's just kind of a general area where we hang out. There's a TV, there's some extra stuff down here, and it's also the laundry room. These cabinets, as well as this table with the drawers, my dad actually built for me to do arts and crafts on. I was quite the crafty kid. I painted, I colored, I'd draw, I'd sculpt, I'd work with beads, I'd scrapbook, I'd pretty much do any craft you could think of, I dabbled in it. I even had, right here used to be the yarn drawer, where I kept a whole bunch of cheap acrylic, Super Saver and the like, for crafty projects, stringing beads, hanging things up. I was inventive. These shelves over here once held toys, but now they're mostly yarn. As you can see, we still have the Legos and the Connects and stuff up here, but this is all yarn. My bird fell over.
Bird
fell over. These are all yarn, and I have some finished objects down here, which I'll show you later. We'll start over here with the yarn cubbies. I have organized my yarn first by luxury versus store-bought, and also by weight. So over here, I have basically any luxury yarns DK weight and thinner. Over here, I have my luxury yarns that are worsted weight or larger. I've got some various miscellaneous acrylics I got at the thrift store. I don't shop a lot for luxury yarn, that's why these two cubbies are very empty. But these I actually picked up from a farm stand, and this lady hand spun this, and I haven't found something really good to do with it yet, but I'm really trying because this is beautiful. It's a nice woolly wool. It's about a worsted weight. Over here I keep my dishcloth cotton. You may recognize some of these as cotton mill ends that I got from AC Moore that I've been talking about in all of my videos. I bought 5 pounds at once because I was going a little cray, and now they're sitting today, but this is all dishcloth material. Over here I have thread. I have mostly white thread, and I have this one that's like sparkly. I don't work a lot with thread. It kind of intimidates me, but I did inherit a bunch of this Aunt Lydia's metallic thread from a very nice lady who passed on. So I'll have to find something to do with it, maybe some doilies. I've always wanted to do doilies, but I've always been intimidated by doilies, but maybe we'll
You're already a grandma.
Your grandma. Doilies are fun!
Doilies.
They're beautiful!
Definitely a grandma already.
Oh my god. Okay. So now this whole row is basically worsted weight acrylic. Cheap worsted weight acrylic. I have it kind of organized by color because I think it looks good that way. But this is mostly stuff I've accumulated over the years because it was cheap. I got it on great deals. I think this one was like 10 for $10. I got skeins of this one. So these were $1 each. And I've got a bunch of different stuff here. Some Red Hearts, some Karens, some Nicole's. Stuff I like, stuff I don't like, full skeins, part skeins. It's all kind of mixed in here. So down in this corner, basically these are sorted the same way as these upper cabinets are sorted. I have fingering weight, yeah, basically just fingering weight down here, fingering and light fingering, mostly of the cheap stuff. I have some DK and some sport down here.
Some sport. Very sporty of you.
And then over here, I have bulky yarns, cheaper bulky yarns, some Lion Brand homespun, some discontinued Woolies tonal, stuff like that. And then over here, I have my super bulky game. I love Stitch Studio by Nicole Bell. It's just beautiful. Sadly, AC Moore's going out of business, so I don't know what's going to happen to their yarn line, but I do love it. I also have some Bernat baby blanket and some mill ends that I also bought when I bought the dishcloth cotton. And I used up half of them, but I still have 3 skeins of this left. So, and then down along this row here are the baskets. And the baskets basically hold finished projects. So like this hat I talked about on one of my previous podcasts, I loom knit this. This scarf was a prototype I knit after I made a scarf for my boyfriend.
That's me.
That's my cameraman today.
That's me.
That's him. And this is basically where I wrote out the pattern. I had to re-knit the scarf to make sure I got everything right. So that's there. I have my favorite scrappy hat. But there's all kinds of stuff I've finished that doesn't have a home. Maybe I'll do a craft fair one day. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I have a whole bunch of stuff.
Make that money.
I have one knitted knocker in this bag along with the needles and the yarn I need to finish the other one. That's hibernating for a while because I don't like the yarn I picked. It was very splitty. And then here I have some embellishments. So I have like some flowers and some various things like that that I can decorate knitted projects with. Over to the right of the cubby is closest to the stairs. We have something my dad built for me when I was young. It was built as an American Girl doll armoire, but it was just too beautiful and too amazing to put away with all the rest of the American Girl stuff once I got a little older. So it's been sitting around. I've been trying to find a use for it until I reorganized my craft room and realized it was perfect for holding all kinds of notions and various things like that. So this is what this is. This is just an organizer from, I think it was Office Max. In the back here I have all of my needle sets, all of my various DPN sets, circular sets, all those. Over here I have some larger gauge straight needles because I only have larger gauge needles in straight needles, and these are the ones I would use for larger gauge projects. I have a little tin that I like to put my needles in while I'm traveling so that they don't poke through my bag. I have a needle gauge, which is important to have right here because this is where all my needles are. I have some extra cords from Knit Picks for my needle sets. And then in this little organizer thing, I have some various fixed circulars in some various sizes. Those are organized by size. The bigger ones are towards the back. And then this roll right here, I have all my various needles that don't really have a set, don't really have a purpose. They're DPNs and circular tips. So in this section of the armoire, this is where the clothes would be hanging. You see there's a rod over here. But what I use this area for is my ball winder and Swift. So this is my Knit Picks ball winder. And then over here is a Swift I got on Amazon. It is from some foreign country, but it works just fine. It was nice and cheap.
$5 says made in China on it.
Made in China.
Yay, $5.
Down here at the bottom, I have a metal ruler, which I find very helpful. It didn't really fit anywhere else. And I have my straight needle collection. I have a whole bunch of straight needles. I don't use them very often, although I did hear a tip this morning on a YouTube video that suggested I use them for Intarsia. Circular needles are a little bit trickier to do Intarsia with, so I'm going to try it out with those, but most of the time I don't really use straights. In this drawer, I have some various things. I have some buttons, including some that say handmade with love on them. Some other buttons of cut off clothes. I have a handmade with love ribbon I can tie things with. My pom-pom maker and this beautiful pom-pom I made out of scraps of baby alpaca yarn. It's very soft and fuzzy, and I haven't quite found the perfect project to put it on, so it's been hanging out in here. Here I have my miscellaneous notions. This is a soap container I got at Walmart. I put some scissors in it, but I've got darning needles and stitch holders and a darning egg and all kinds of stitch markers and a couple of pairs of scissors. I love kids' scissors for getting through airport security because they look like the least threatening out of all of my scissors. Never had a problem getting through security with those. In here, I have two things. So I have notions cases. I keep my notions cases pretty well stocked, and I just keep them separate from my projects. Or no, I keep them with my projects when I'm working on a project, but then when I'm done, I just put them right in here, so that way when I want to start a new project, I can just grab a whole notions case and don't have to worry about what notions do I need. Do I need this kind of stitch marker? It's all in there. I also have poly envelopes, letter sized. You can see they're a little beaten up. That's because I put my patterns in there, my paper patterns, and I put them in my project bags, and that just helps the paper patterns not get ripped and torn to pieces and stained with water and all that kind of stuff. So they're really cheap. I think I got them for $1 from Office Depot. I love office supplies almost as much as I love knitting supplies, so I try to use them together. And then in here, I have some pencil cases. And what these are for is crochet hooks. So in here I have my set of Knit Picks bright crochet hooks, as well as a boy crochet hook that was in a size that wasn't included in Knit Picks, and it looks kind of similar, so I put that in there. These are the hooks I use most frequently. In this bin, we have all kinds of teeny metal crochet hooks that I inherited from the lady who gave me the crochet thread. I haven't found a way to use those yet because they're so tiny and I'm kind of new to crochet, but I am looking forward to using those in the future. And then here I have this Darn Good Yarn crochet hook case, which I don't like because it doesn't close all the way. But It has all of my miscellaneous. I've got some Susan Bates crystal lights in here. I've got some miscellaneous boy hooks. Hooks I've inherited, hooks I found, hooks that don't really fit in any of the categories.
You just randomly find hooks?
My mom used to crochet back in the day, and she had a bunch. And then that lady gave me some. I inherited a bunch of her crochet hooks, and then, I pick the odd one up at the craft store because I can't help it.
Yeah, sure.
And
You have a problem? Yes,
I have a problem.
Yes,
I have a knitting problem more than I have a crochet problem, but I do have a problem.
You just have a problem.
I just have a problem.
At least you can admit it. That's the first step.
I can admit it.
It's the first step.
We're not done, folks. There's more.
Ah!
Over in here, I have a tripod for a camera that doesn't have the top part, but I was using it for a while. I have blocking wires in this tube, and I have blocking mats. These are foam mats. I got a job lot for like $10 for 4. They're meant to be like standing on mats in the garage, but I find they can block on them just fine. So in this blue cabinet, I have 2 things. I have all of my books and magazines and things like that for knitting and crochet. And I also have swatches. So this box right here is full of various swatches I've done for gauge, prototypes of mittens I've made that didn't come out very well, all kinds of different yarns, and they all have a story of a project I once made with them. So I kind of keep them just for reference and mostly for memories. I don't know. Maybe I'll sew them all together into a blanket one day, but I'll never do that. I say that all the time. I say I will do things all the time that I never do. So this cabinet has my old knitting notebooks, my binders, my reference materials. Here I have my paper patterns, and I wanted to show you real quick and aside how I organize my paper patterns.
Ooh.
So I have them.
Oh, Jesus. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
I have them in this file folder, and I found a really cool thing with them. I have binder tabs that have numbers on them, and at the beginning there's a table of contents. So I just have everything sorted by the number, and I can find them that way. So for example, this pattern right here needs to be filed. It's a dishcloth pattern from Your Inspirations. I look at dishcloth, the dish towel, pot holder, and the like are number 5. So I just kind of thumb through here until I get to number 5. And this is all of my dishcloth patterns. So then all I gotta do
Fancy pants.
is pop this one right in. It's fancy pantsy.
Fancy pantsy. Page protectors and everything.
I love page protectors.
Yeah, I can tell.
I love them.
I can tell.
But also they're helpful because sometimes my patterns have multiple pages in them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just put them all in one page protector and they'll keep everything protected. Here I have some sewing stuff, and so this is other art supplies, and this is some keepsakes from my childhood, stuff I've made over the years. You don't need to see all that. On the table surface, here I have a speaker that I can plug my phone into. That's mainly for when I'm doing laundry. I turn up the jams.
You jam out.
This box is full of stuff I need to talk about in my next podcast, so stay tuned. It'll be next week.
That's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. I went Black Friday shopping.
Wow.
Over here, we have a sewing machine. And over here, we have a prototype ball winder my dad made me. It actually does work, but it doesn't spin very easily. So the gears get stuck. And but it worked. It was what I used to wind balls for quite a while. Down here, I have office supplies and some scrapbooking stuff. You don't need to see my office supplies. That's where I keep my page protectors.
That's where you keep your extra page protectors.
I have a whole box.
Interesting.
And then in this drawer, I have blocking supplies. I have sock blockers and a steamer. I have my old set of blocking mats. I have a gleaner. I have several types of wool wash. So that all goes in there. Oh, and some pins, blocking pins.
Pins. Ooh.
Here I have looms and a loom pick. So I keep all those together. And here I have a latch hook kit that I bought and did part of and never got around to finishing. But I swear I will do it someday, just like I swear I will do my embroidery that I started. The cross stitch, the kind of cross stitch. It's been a while. In fairness to me, it gets dark early these days and it's on black Aida cloth, so it's hard to see.
Excuses.
then under the table,
Trash can, the most important
trash
thing.
can. I have a giant box of polyfill for amigurumi and the like.
Wow.
I bought it because it was such a good deal compared to the smaller ones, and because my mom wanted to restuff a couple of our couch cushions, so she bought like 3 boxes of it and only needed 2. So that's why we have so much. In this little fishing tackle box, I have my macrame stuff, my embroidery floss for friendship bracelets. I used to be into those. And then in this bag from AC Moore, I have all of my project bags that I've used from every which place. I don't really buy project bags specifically for project bags. I just added them. Embroidery, some stuffed animals, more project bags, and a basin I use to hand wash my knits. Up here, we have, what?
Crazy lady.
Up here, I have my yarn scraps. So all my little bits and pieces, my small balls, I put them all up in here. Some of them are in Ziploc bags, so I was trying to organize them by weight, and then I got bored, so then I just started shoving stuff up there. But I have even little teeny, I don't throw anything away.
Little baby yarns.
Little baby yarns, I don't throw anything away. I do eventually, but I have a hard time with it, so. But yeah. Now, I have finished showing you my craft room. Special thanks to my cameraman, my boyfriend Bear, for all of his help and sassy commentary.
Always.
He is the greatest, and I love you.
Ooh.
Once again, links to everything I talked about my name will be in the description box below. That'll be a lot of stuff, probably. It's going to take me forever to edit this. My name is Megan. You're watching Miss Megan Knits. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!
Started. Oh, I have to move. Yeah. Smooth.
Smooth, right? I'm gonna cut this part out.